What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another hat format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your hat format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the matchup I have for you today, we have Kizan1, who is going to be on Gigavise. It's definitely been a while since I've shown off Gigavise for hat format on this channel, and I've definitely been meaning to make a deck profile on that deck, and so maybe this is the sign that I need to go back and, find a build that I really like and show that off finally. And their opponent, Alex Rod, is going to be on C.H.A.T, so the card hand artifact trap tricks deck. So basically the most, basic standard deck of the format, definitely a very strong deck versus a fan favorite deck in Gigavise. So hopefully this will be a good match, but the only way to know for sure is to actually check it out. So without further ado, let's get started. Here it looks like Kizan does win the rock, paper, scissors and gets to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Super Solar Nutrient, Nettles, Gigaplant, Royal Decree, and Mathematician. And on the other side, we see Mind Control, Wiretap, Card D, Wiretap, and Pot of Duality. So here, Kizan's hand is definitely all right. Let's see what they draw for turn here. Getting another copy of Decree, so not exactly what they were looking for. Maybe something like, maybe a copy of Supervise would have been really strong, or even a Soul Charge or something, but obviously that's sort of a big ask. They definitely can get at least some setup here because they do have the Super Solar Nutrient, and I will kind of go over some of these cards as they come up. As I mentioned, it has been a while. But here, starting out their turn, they are going to normal summon a copy of Mathematician, sending a copy of Dandelion. Dandelion will then trigger to summon 2 level 1 tokens before activating this copy of Super Solar Nutrient, which says activate this card by attributing 1 level 2 or lower plant type monster, special summon 1 plant monster from your hand or deck whose level is less than or equal to the level of the tributed monster had on the field, +3, and when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster, and when that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So tributing off that level 1 and going for a copy of Lonefire, using Lonefire, going into another Lonefire, and then that Lonefire into a copy of Gigaplant, and this should be leaving the field here because the Lonefire left. And after that, it looks like just setting the 2 copies of Royal Decree. So kind of, a slow start, as I mentioned, it might have been. And really, this deck has a lot of very intricate combos and things it can actually do. So sometimes it can be a little hard to see those types of plays. There's definitely plays they had where if maybe they went into, say, something along the lines of a Spore, and then they could have done some plays also rather than going for the Gigaplant there, given they didn't have the Supervise yet or something like that. But it's really hard to say. It really comes down to their mindset and how experienced they are, or what they're hoping to find on their following turns and such with that. But here we will see Alex draw for turn, getting a copy of the Dionea, starting their turn by activating Duality, revealing Dark Hole, which is definitely tempting, Card D, which they already have a copy, and Warning. Here it looks like they are going to take the copy of Dark Hole, which is definitely a solid move, activating it to clear the board before setting some back row, summoning the Card D, using the effect, and drawing a MST and Fire Hand. And in the end phase, we are going to see the copy of Decree activated, and here Kizan will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Foolish Burial, so definitely a strong draw there, activating it. And let's see what they send, choosing to send a copy of Redox, which they are going to activate and banish the Mathematician and Dandelion. After that, tributing for the copy of Gigaplant and swinging in. Honestly, I don't know how worth it that actually was. Again, it just feels like a bit of a strange play to even do that. It almost could have been worth, if you were going to go for the Redox, just using it defensively and playing the game a little slow, because then if this does bounce back to hand, you can always trade the Nettles and the Redox to bring back your Lonefire and do plays like that. I feel like if you know your opponent, given you saw the card, plus you saw some of the cards revealed, which I guess didn't show too much of what you're on, but given, that they were on the Duality, the cards, you can kind of assume what type of deck they might be on, and you might not have to worry about rushing into plays that much, especially given you already have the Decree up, so you're not too worried about that either. And if anything, this will leave you susceptible to the hands, which we do see that Alex has here. So maybe maybe it would have been better just to play it a little slow in that exact turn. Obviously, the turn 1, they might have had other plays, but here Alex will get a Soul Charge for turn, starting their turn by normal summoning that Fire Hand, and doing what I said, kind of crashing the Fire Hand in, popping the Gigaplant, summoning an Ice Hand, and attacking in as well. And now it already feels like Kizan is a little behind, and oh, it looks like Alex was going to activate that MST, but instead setting it and another back row. Here Kizan gets yet another copy of Decree, so all 3 Decrees, very unfortunate to see here. Back over to Alex, who gets another copy of Soul Charge. Here they're going to normal summon the Dionea just to apply some pressure, attacking in with both. And let's see, going main phase 2, are they thinking NXCs? They are just going to leave their stuff there, drawing into a copy of Spore. Kizan is going to think here, using the Redox, banishing double Gigaplant and summoning it. And after that, we are going to see the Spore normal summon and going for a Stardust Dragon. From here, going battle phase, attacking over the Ice Hand, and Ice Hand is going to trigger, but the Stardust is going to tribute to negate it, and in the end phase, it will be summoned back. After that, Alex will draw a copy of Trap Nightmare, activate the copy of Soul Charge, bringing out the Fire Hand and Ice Hand, maybe going for a 101 play here, overlaying, yep, for a defensive copy of 101, taking that copy of Stardust, and after that, setting that copy of Trap Nightmare, which, again, I really don't think it's worth it, given they know that the Decree is on board. Maybe Alex doesn't know the Gigavise deck that well, but usually this deck isn't playing much real back row. If anything, a lot of times it's bluffs. Some builds will play something like a Wing Blast maybe, or something else, but see, given that you see the Decree here, you can more than likely assume that these are either bluffs or more copies or something like that, and so there's not really a real reason to clog your back row. I guess the MST can always be activated, but I don't know if it's worth even setting that and just potentially getting blown out by like a potential Exciton, even though, again, the Gigavise deck isn't really a deck known to do that. It's just in general playing a little more cautiously doesn't hurt in this type of matchup. Here, Kizan gets a copy of Junk Forward, and let's see what they're going to do. Special summoning the copy of Junk Forward, and then using the Spore, banishing the copy of Lone Fire. And so now the Spore is going to be a level 4 here, so maybe a Black Rose play coming up. We are going to see MST activated on the Decree, but the second Decree is going to be activated here. And then we are going to see a Black Rose here, maybe, or are they going to go for... Let's see here. Yep, they are going to go for Black Rose. So even there is a great example, even though they thought that the MST would clear the Decree, so then this Trap Nightmare would be good. You know, they didn't really have a backup other than that. And also, okay, so, that wouldn't really work though, would it? Yeah, I was going to say they could use the Wiretap, but the Wiretap would still be negated because the other Decree wasn't on board. So yeah, there wasn't really a great play for Alex there. Here, the Black Rose is going to activate. Oh, were they using the actual effect of Black Rose? So not using the blow up the board effect, instead using the other effect that doesn't come up much. Off the top of my head, it's like banish a plant and it makes an opponent's monster's attack 0 or something like that. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head the exact wording on it, but Black Rose does actually have an effect besides the blowing up the board effect, so kind of neat to see that. But anyways, moving on into a game number 2, Alex will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Lone Fire, Supervise, Mark of the Rose, Gigaplant, and Mathematician, and on the other side, we see Firehand, Wiretap, Forbidden Chalice, Card D, and Max C. And so honestly, pretty solid hands from both players here, actually really good hands. And, Alex drawing into a Dark Hole and having, the Max C for when Kizan starts popping off is going to be extremely strong, I would assume. So here, starting off the turn, we are going to see a set 2, and the card car is going to be summoned, activating, drawing a Mermail and an MST over to Kizan, who gets a copy of Spore, and they have a lot of options too. We are going to see them start with the Lone Fire, though, which is going to activate, and Alex is going to chain that copy of Max C, so Lone Fire into Lone Fire. Okay, so really going to go hard on this Max C, it seems. Here, Alex gets a copy of Ice Hand. The Lone Fire is going to go and summon a copy of Gigaplant, and here Alex gets a copy of Soul Charge. After that, Supervise is activated on the Gigaplant, giving it its effect, and Chalice is going to be chained to that, negating the effect of the Gigaplant here. And so after that, just going to battle phase and attacking in for 28. So a lot of damage there. And, you know, Alex definitely drew a good amount of cards there. Even if it was just, what, 2 cards, whatever, they have a lot more card advantage right now. Drawing into a copy of Traptrapple Nightmare for turn. And from here, let's see, are they going to go? Oh, they're just going to Dark Hole. Okay, so activating Dark Hole to clear the Gigaplant. But then here the Supervise will trigger, which has the ability that if this face-up card is sent from the field to the graveyard, target a normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it. And, you know, obviously Gigaplant is a Gemini monster, so it's treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. So being able to bring out the Gigaplant at least puts up a little pressure here, though Alex has the perfect answer, summoning that copy of Fire Hand, attacking in, popping the Gigaplant and summoning an Ice Hand, and then attacking in for 14 before going main phase 2, setting a few back row and back over to Keyzon, who now gets a copy of Supervise. So somewhat set up here, going and summoning Mathematician, sending a copy of Dandelion. Dandelion is going to go and summon 2 tokens here, go to battle phase, and walk over the Ice Hand, which can't pop anything to float. So being able to clear that and just back over to Alex, who gets another Mermail. Here, they're going to normal summon Mermail, use the effect, get a copy of Bottomless, and after that, go to battle phase, clear one of the tokens, and set another back row, back over to Keyzon, who gets a copy of Soul Charge, so now they might be able to start popping off a bit here, summoning the copy of Spore, synchroing for a copy of Formula Synchron. And here Formula is going to activate, drawing a card, getting a copy of Supervise. And here it looks like Keyzon is checking a ruling here, going and activating Spore, banishing the Lone Fire. And so the Spore is going to be a level 4 here, synchroing for a copy of Black Rose. And here real quick, I am going to check that card, the effect that it has. It says once per turn, you can banish a plant monster from your graveyard, target 1 defense position monster your opponent controls, change that target to face-up attack position, and if you do, its attack becomes 0. So yeah, that was just going to clear the game last turn, or the last game, it was going to just end that game. Regardless, you're summoning the copy of Black Rose, using the effect to try to blow up the board, and the Traptrapple Nightmare is going to activate, negating that effect and destroying it. After that, they're checking another ruling, going Soul Charge, and going for a very big Soul Charge, bringing out Black Rose, Gigaplant, Lone Fire, and Spore, but that is going to be met with that Bottomless, banishing the Gigaplant and the copy of Black Rose. And after that, we will see Mark of the Rose activated. That says activate this card by banishing 1 plant monster from your graveyard, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, equip this card to it, take control of the equipped monster, and then once per turn during your end phase, negate this card's effect. So basically, the opponent gets their monster back, and so on and so forth. So here, going to try to take that copy of Mermail, but MST is going to be met on the Mark of the Rose, and after that, just passing. So a little unfortunate there for Keyzon. Here, Alex gets a copy of Card D, and it looks like they're going to summon the other copy of Traptrix Mermail and add a copy of Void Trap Hole. This card says when your opponent special summons a monsters with 2,000 or more attack, negate the effects of one of those monsters with 2,000 or more attack, and if you do, destroy it. And from here, going to battle phase, running over the Spore, running over the Lone Fire, going main phase 2, overlaying. Okay, what are we going to go into? Going for a copy of Emerald, using the effect detaching Mermail, putting back Ice Hand, Max C, and Card D, shuffling up and drawing a copy of Dionea, which is great given they still have a copy of Mermail in graveyard, setting that copy of Void Trap Hole and back over to Keyzon, who now gets a copy of Super Solar Nutrient. From here, they're going to tribute summon for Gigaplant, use Supervise, giving it its effect to be able to special summon back a plant monster, going for a copy of Lone Fire, using Lone Fire, tributing it off for a copy of Nettles. From here, they are going to think synchro summoning into a copy of Stardust, okay? And then using the Supervise, going for, what was that? They were going for, bringing back the copy of Gigaplant there. And here, when the Void Trap Hole is going to activate, it looks like Stardust is going to activate to negate the copy of Void Trap Hole that has an ability that would destroy a card. Very interesting. I don't know if I've seen that before here. Okay, they're going to actually talk about, so let's see. Negate the effects of one of those monsters with 2,000 or more. Void Trap Hole cannot be used to destroy Stardust Dragon because Stardust Dragon's effect can negate destroy the activation of Void Trap Hole when this card is chained to the summon of Stardust. I checked the ruling right now. Okay, so if they checked it, they checked it. That's actually a really weird thing that I haven't really seen come up in all the times I've been playing hat format. So kind of funny to see that, but we will assume that's, you know, what's happening here. And so the copy of Supervise did bring back the copy of Gigaplant here. And after that, we are going to see the other Supervise activated, making so the Gigaplant has its effect again. And then here, bringing back the copy of Nettles, going to battle phase, running over the copy of Emerald, attacking in with the copy of Nettles, and then setting the copy of Super Solar Nutrient, and face Stardust will return here. And back over to Alex, who gets a copy of Duality, goes for a Soul Charge play, bringing out the Fire Hand Mermail. And from there, the Mermail's mandatory effect is going to activate, and Stardust is going to tribute, negating and destroying it. After that, we will see the copy of Dionea summoned, bringing back the copy of Mermail. Mermail will then pop the copy of Supervise, and then from there, overlaying into a copy of 101, which can activate and take the copy of Gigaplant. After that, it looks like setting a copy of Duality, and back over to Kizan, who gets a copy of MST, and yep, the Stardust does come back in the end phase. And here, just going to battle phase, running over the copy of 101, leaving Alex at just 100 life. The 101 is going to protect itself by getting rid of that Gigaplant that was underneath it. Here we will see the Nettles run over the copy of Firehand. Stardust is going to tribute, negate, and destroy it. In the end phase, we are going to see a Stardust come back, and it looks like they did set that copy of MST there. Here, Alex draws a copy of Cardcar, activates Duality, revealing the Dionea MST and Cardcar D, taking the copy of Dionea, but they are going to have to survive a turn. And here we see them set Ice Hand and switch the 101 to defense. Hidden Armory is drawn, a great card here. MST hitting that last back row, which is the Wiretap. Here, Hidden Armory activated, which says send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, add one equip spell, so from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and you can't normal summon or set the turn you activate this. So sending the top card, which is Spell Striker, adding the Mark of the Rose, which basically should just wrap up this game, which it is going to do. Unfortunately, actually, now that I think about it, Alex did not see any of the artifact cards. Like, I'd assume they're on it, but between two games, I don't think we saw a single artifact card, which is really unfortunate. And yeah, just a kind of interesting game there, honestly. A little underwhelming, but at the same time, you know, I don't really know what to say about this one. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it for what it is. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out. Share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays, whether you won or lost. If you thought the deck you or your opponent was playing was pretty cool, feel free to send that in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.